Desi.com.au, the ultimate Australian website for all the Bollywood entertainment, news and info. Why look anywhere else when you can find it all at Desi.com.au?
Hi, I'm Vee Malnar and I'm a multimedia artist. I work in visual art, music and theatre. And the last 4 years I've been writing plays for Short and Sweet and Abhinay. And I've also co-written a play called Delhi Daughters for Abhinay School. Today I'm speaking with Alex Broun, who's the guru of 10-minute plays and who is also conducting workshops for Abhinay School. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Vee. Lovely to chat to you and lovely to be on Desi TV.
Great. You have a long list of plays that have won awards and been performed around the world.
Thanks.
And you also share your knowledge and craft of playwriting. You teach workshops. Can you tell me how that all sort of began?
Yeah, I guess I first became interested in short plays actually when I was living in South Africa between 1995 and 2000. That's when I first started writing 10-minute plays or short plays. And then I returned to Australia at the end of 2000, and Short and Sweet was just starting up then. So I got involved in the first ever Short and Sweet. And from there, which was back in about, the first ever Short and Sweet was in January 2002 in Sydney. So I've been working very much in 10-minute plays and focusing on 10-minute plays ever since then.
Okay. And can you give us a little idea of what your workshop's going to be like, the structure of it, the 3 days? You do 3-day workshops?
Well, I think 10-minute plays are tremendously exciting. There's wonderful opportunities. As you said, I've been very, very lucky now. I've had over 100 different plays produced in 1,000 productions around the world. Mm-hmm. And actually in June, after I run this workshop, I'll be going to Washington because a play of mine's on in Washington, and to Miami, where a play of mine is on in Miami, which I'm really looking forward to. So it certainly opens up lots of wonderful opportunities. And the great thing about this workshop that I'll be running, it's a 3-day workshop, is that you can take someone who's never written a play before in their life. Like I think when you first came to my course, Vee, you hadn't written a play before. And, through over that Friday night, the Saturday and Sunday, you can learn all about how to write a 10-minute play, looking at character, dialogue, theatricality, dramatic tension, story, situation, all those things. And then you go away and actually write a first draft of a play on Saturday night with the tools that I give you. And then on Sunday, we have actors come in and actually bring the plays to life. So you can go from having never written a play on Friday night in your life to Sunday night watching someone actually perform one of your plays. It's a really fantastic, inspiring experience.
That's fantastic. What if I come along and my idea isn't very good? And, are you going to suggest to me, well, you need to make these changes? What happens in that whole process as you develop the idea?
Oh, Vee, all your ideas are good. But I think that through the course, basically, one of the things we do on the Saturday morning is we talk about different ideas, and I ask everybody to think of maybe 1 to 3 possible ideas. And we look at those ideas and say, well, how would that work on stage? Because that's the only thing that's relevant. The wonderful thing about 10-minute plays, you can write a play in any style. Comedy, drama, traditional theatre, any religious, any style you'd like. And we just look at the idea and say, well, how can we make that work as a play on stage? And that's the craft of playwriting. That's where writing for the theatre is very different to, say, writing film or writing a short story or writing a poem. And we talk about that and work through that in the class to make sure that you have an idea that you'll be happy with. Because to write a good 10-minute play, you have to do 2 things. You have to have a good idea, but you need to execute that idea well. So we help you find that good idea, and then we also help you execute it well.
So you don't think that dialogue alone, just, the art of great dialogue is going to stand on its own?
Well, that's the wonderful thing about writing 10-minute plays, is that anything can work, and you can focus on your strength. So if your strength is character, write a character-based play. It'll be great. If your strength is dialogue, write a dialogue-based play. That'll be great. If your strength is situation, then write a situation, or theatricality, write a play based on a theatrical image or idea. idea. So any of those ideas can work, which is really exciting. And you just have to play to your strength. So if you want to write a dialogue-based play, absolutely. If you write lovely dialogue, that's all you need. I'll tell you, the actors love to do lovely dialogue, and the audience sit there going gaga. Oh, look, listen to the beautiful words. Oh, the words are so beautiful.
Yeah, that's actually something I was going to ask you about, the outcome on the last day when the playwrights actually have some actors to watch performing their work. What are some of the feedback that the playwrights give to you about what they're seeing after having gone through those stages?
Well, I think it's a great experience, not just for you as a writer, but it's also a great experience for you as a person and as a creative person, whether you take that into your work or your life. Because we've had wonderful people like Nina who came and did the course, and Nina had beautiful stories all her life, which she'd been storing up inside, and the course helped those stories come out. And I know you've worked with Nina now, taking those ideas on further. It also helps you build up a network through Abhinay. You meet lots of wonderful actors and lots of directors, and it'll create lots of opportunities for you. So you can go having to never written a play before to maybe even seeing your play staged by Abhinay later in the year at a wonderful event, or maybe even at Short and Sweet.
I've even seen some of your short plays become films, which is fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I've been very, very lucky in writing my plays. I've now probably had about 20 or 30 plays filmed around the world now. And the other day somebody sent me a link to a movie they'd made of a script of mine in Germany, which was great to hear my lines in German. So, there's tremendous opportunities. And I think what the course helps you do is build up confidence, to express yourself, ways to release your creativity in a way that's productive and a way that's achievable. It's a pipe dream, really, that we're all going to sit here and write a wonderful screenplay and we're going to send it off to Steven Spielberg and he's going to make it in Hollywood. That's pretty tough. That's like a 1 in 1 million shot. But you've got maybe a 1 in 5 shot that you can write a good play and have it staged at, say, a 10-minute play festival, not only here but in India. Short and Sweet now runs in Delhi, in Mumbai, in Chennai, in Bangalore, or maybe anywhere else around the world.
Tell us a bit about your experience with working with people in say Delhi or who write in Hindi. How that?
Listen, I've been very, very lucky in my life. I've been very, very grateful to have the opportunity to spend time in India. I spent time running 2 festivals, Short and Sweet festivals in Delhi. I was also in Bangalore, in Chennai, and in Mumbai. I've met some wonderful, wonderful people there. There's some extraordinarily talented artists in India, people with great voice and great vision, people like Arvind Gao, who Abhinay, of course, has also worked with, who's a wonderful director. And Ash, of course, herself has been over and performed in India and had that wonderful experience and come and done a Short and Sweet over in Delhi. So, it's a wonderful experience to have that and to see that joy through people able to bring their characters and their stories onto the stage. And I think if anything, that's what I'm looking to do in the workshops, is to give people a chance to feel that joy, to express that joy. Even if they want to write a sad story, it's that sad, the release of that sad story will bring joy. And later in the year I'm working on a project about Swami Vivekananda, and I think a lot about Swami and Swami's sayings, and he would talk very much about that, about releasing the joy, and that's what I think we want to be able to do. And it's a lovely description, the guru of 10-minute plays. And what I guess I hope people do is to find some joy, some enlightenment, some peace through expressing their ideas. And I think the 10-minute format is a wonderful way to do that, because it allows you to share it with people. So you can share it with actors, you can share it with an audience, you can become part of a community rather than just sitting alone writing something or sending it off to some publisher. Even if it gets published, somebody in a different place reads it and you never get that contact. The great thing about writing a play is you get to work with the actors, and then you get to sit and watch your play in front of an audience. It's a beautiful experience to have.
Yes, I think the whole workshop is great because you're working with other people, and it's a lot of fun actually. And it's a lot better than just working at home alone and then throwing your stuff in a drawer and never seeing it again. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you've had that experience yourself of being able to write plays and then have actors bring them to life. It's wonderful, isn't it?
It develops you as a writer. Each time you do a play, you learn from it. You learn from the actors performing it and from working with directors, and then you have other ideas that that develop for the next play, and so on and so forth. What do you personally look for in a great play? Is there something that you like, particularly themes or storylines that you look for that stands out for you? you?
Well, I think the wonderful thing about 10-minute plays is that as I said, anything can work, and you can write in any style. You can write comedies or dramas or completely different styles. So different things are going to make different great plays. I would say truth, that there's some element of truth in it, truth about a person's life or truth about life in general or the world in general, something heartfelt, something with passion, I think is very, very important. But to tell you the truth, the real difference is whether the work is finished or not. Because you have to develop a play through a process. It's not often that you'll sit down and write a play perfectly through the first draft. What you need to do is write a first draft, work on it with the actors, get some feedback, work on it again, maybe a little bit more feedback, and then put it on. And if I look at my best plays, like 10,000 Cigarettes, that went through a process of 4 or 5 drafts till it got to where it was. But then, another play like Saturday Night, Newtown, Sunday Morning, Enmore, which is I think one of my better plays, that came out first time exactly as it is on the paper. So I think it's knowing the subject matter, it's knowing the play, it's making that situation or that story or those characters or that dialogue as good as they can be. Because often what you'll see as a play is just a chunk of stone that hasn't been polished. And what you need to do is polish that stone and make it as clear and as sharp and refined as it can. And if you do that, if you go through that process, which I'll show you in the course, you can come up with a really wonderful play.
And with 10 minutes, you can really focus much more easily, say, than you can on a full-length play. I've attempted full-length plays, and it's a very hard thing to get it right because there's a lot of work involved. But with a 10-minute play, you can get much more success.
I think that's the wonderful thing about 10-minute plays as well, is that it's achievable. I mean, everybody's very busy. People have their jobs, they have their family. You don't have time to sort of shut yourself away for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and write a full-length play. But you do have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 hours to write a first draft of a 10-minute play. And literally, that's how long it'll take you. Once you get going, it'll take you maybe 2 or 3 hours. And like Kate Toon probably writes 10, she'll think she writes 10-minute plays in 20 minutes. So you can write the plays fairly quickly, so it's something that's achievable within your schedule. So I think that's the wonderful thing about 10-minute plays, and it's something you can do and you can finish. Whereas, say, a lot of people set out to write a novel, of course, and 30 years later they're still writing their novel. Whereas a 10-minute play, you can sit down one night, you can write a first draft and it's finished, and then the next day you can show it to the actors and have it performed. And I think, yes, you need to focus on a specific moment or a specific idea or a specific situation, but it's amazing how much you can get into a 10-minute play now. It's really, really amazing. And I know, that the competition in terms of full-length plays is incredibly harsh and incredibly tough. There's wonderful Australian playwrights writing lots of wonderful plays that never get on. And maybe, 5 or 10 of those will be done a year. The thing about 10-minute plays is that there's probably the same number of people writing them, maybe more, but there'll be 100, 200, 300, 400 plays on. So you've just got a much better chance of getting your play on if you write a 10-minute play.
And what can happen with some of those plays? They can, you can put them into festivals.
Well, they can. So, to give you, say, a good example, say a play written in my playwriting course last year. It went on at Short and Sweet in Sydney. Then it was done in Short and Sweet in Melbourne and Canberra and Auckland. It was done over in Delhi. So that writers had that amazing experience of having their play done all over the world. And they get an email from someone saying, "Oh, we're doing your play in Delhi tomorrow night." I mean, it's a fantastic experience, and to know that your play is being performed, in a totally different country, and your stories and your characters are being expressed. It's fantastic to have that. And I'll just give you a very quick example to one of the writers from last year's course. And what I encourage people to do is once they finish their play, go online, find 10-minute play competitions and send it off. One of our writers last year, he wrote a 10-minute play. The next week he found a competition online which was in Dakota for 10-minute playwriting competition. He sent it off and his play was accepted. And like a month later he emailed and say, "Hey Alex, my play's on in Dakota." So, that's as quickly as it can happen. It's a great way of taking a pipe dream and making it a reality. And the great thing about 10-minute plays is everybody can do it. They used to say everybody has a novel inside them. I'm not sure about that. Novels are a lot of words. But I believe everybody has a really good 10-minute play sitting inside them, and all they have to do is let it come out onto the paper. That's all they have to do. And that's basically what I do in the courses, to remove the blocks and to give you some tools to help those ideas come out onto the paper.
Well, that sounds great.
And people will start writing the play before they even know it.
That's great. Any last words for budding playwrights out there who, are interested in coming to the course, but they're a little bit nervous and they think, I'm not sure.
I would just say come along. Come along, enjoy the experience. It's a wonderful experience. You'll get to meet lots of wonderful writers. You'll have a lot of fun. It's a great fun weekend. You won't even notice you're learning things and doing things. And just give yourself a chance to express, to be creative, to have fun and enjoy. And you never know what you could come up with. You could come up with a wonderful 10-minute play that, who knows, a few months later you could be sitting in a theatre packed with people watching your play being performed, and make new contacts, meet more creative, more artistic people. Just come along and be a part of the fun of making 10-minute plays at Abhinay.
Great talking to you, Alex. Thanks very much, and all the best in the future, and I hope the workshops are great.
Thanks, Fee. Lovely to talk to you, and good luck with your writing.
Thank you. That was Alex Broun, the guru of 10-minute plays, who will be conducting playwriting workshops at Hurstville Public School and Shopfront Theatre. For any more information, please go to abhinay.com.au.